Make sure to download all of the assets down in the description, and also make sure to comment down below which tutorial you want. First, let's set it up to pixel art and the assets that I've created. Drag out the icon and you'll see that it's very blurry. Click Import on the left, Preset, 2D Pixel, Re-import. Now it's still kind of blurry, but you can see the individual pixels. Click Preset and set as default to texture. Now grab in the box and triangle assets that are in the description and send them in the top. See that the triangle is not blurry on the edges. Next, let's set up the window size, because at the moment, if we drag any pixel art and click play, it'll be way too small. Select project settings, display window. Set the width and height to 320 by 180, which is 16 by 9. And set the depth here to 1280 by 720. This will make it bigger. Then on the stretch mode, set it to 2D and P. This will make it so it stays like this. Now when we drag in our triangle, it's a lot bigger. Now we're going to make a player. Click Other Node, Kinematic Bodies, and rename it to player. Add a child node and children sprite. Click on sprite, and on the right where it says texture, drag in the triangle button. Click on the player, click Add Child Node, and click Polygon Slider. There's in Polygon 2D. Then, up at the top, click this little plus icon, and add the individual points by dragging and clicking. It should look something like this. Click Control S and click Save. Now let's get into scripting. Click on the player and click Add Script. It's up on that here. Click Create. I'm going to make an export bar speed, and I'm going to set it to 125. You can change it later. And I'm going to make a variable direction and set to vector 2.0. I'm going to make a fun physics process. This automatically gets called every frame. If input.is action press UI accept, then we're going to say direction equals vector 2.up. Else direction equals vector 2.down. This means that when we click the space bar or the enter key, then it will be facing up, otherwise it will be down. Then we're going to add the move and slide function and pass in direction multiplied by speed. Now I'm going to put 2D up at the top, click a plus and 2D scene. I'm going to drag in our player.scene and then click play. I'm going to click select current. And now if we click space, we go up, and if you don't, then we go down. I'm going to go back to the player and click the script. I want it to rotate up and down. You need to click those buttons. So I'm going to 35 is for down and negative 35 is for up. So inside of the script, I'm going to make an export bar rotate equals 35 or negative 35. And then if it is, then our rotation degrees, which is what affects again, equals rotate. And we're going to copy this, and if we're down, then we can negative rotate. Now if we press it, then we'll rotate, but it doesn't like slowly move. So we're going to do is do move forward, and we're going to do from rotation degrees to the rotate variable that we did, and with a speed of 150 multiplied by delta. Now we're going to have the same thing down here, but instead of rotate, it will be done because figure out how fast you had to make this. They start 550. Cool. I'm also going to position the player right there, which is that's a good spot. Now I'm going to make the spikes that we will have to dodge. I'm going to make an area 2D, and then that spike. It's going to have a sprite, which will have the box texture, which you can get in the different. And it's going to be that. You can make it held on that. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to duplicate the sprite, and move it down here. Now I'm going to add another child node called collision shape 2D, which I'm going on the right, set shape to new rectangle shape, and set it to the right size. Then I'm going to duplicate it and put it down here. And I'm going to hope to make unique on both of them. Now on the spike, I'm going to make a new script. And then you're going to want to select the spike. Right here, you're going to click on the node tab and click body entered. Then click on the spike and click connect. Now in here, we want to get the tree dot reload currency. This means that when a body entered, like the player entering the spike, we will reload the scene. And now in our world, if we add a spike right above here, just for testing. We have to move it out of the player so that it doesn't move at the same time as the player. It resets us every time we touch the spike. Now, inside of the spike, I'm going to say function physics process position.x minus equals delta 25 by 75. You can change there by 250. You can change this value to it. And then inside the node 2p, you can add a spike. And you see that it's really quick right now, so I'm going to set it to 100. Now, what we want to happen is have a ton of different spikes right here that move, and when I get to the left, when they go back over here. So inside the world, I'm going to add a spike right there, and add a child node GD, which is going to display all of our spikes. I'm going to duplicate them, and I'm going to have them 9 apart. And randomly goes in. If you want to see those squares and you don't, then you click this button right here. And I found that 9 was a really good number, and you can have 4 of them. Now, inside the world, I'm also going to add an area 2D called left of screen. It's going to have a collision shape, a rectangle, and it's going to be like right here. And I'm going to move it right here. This is when these spikes touch over here, then they'll move it back over. So inside of our spike, we're going to click this, click node and area entered. So no touch left of the screen. And then we want to move them exactly right here. So we can click on that spike, click on the transform. It's 328. We can say position.x equals 328. And now if you test it, they will move over there and they will just keep coming, even though there's only 4. I'm also going to make sure that they're always on the screen. And I'm going to find the lowest value it can be, which is right there. It's -24. So our position.y equals random range from -24 to here, which is 8. From -24 to 8. We set that randomly. And now it won't just do the same. But every single time we play the game, the positions will be the same, which is really bad because we want it to be different every time. What we're going to do is on here in the function called ready, which is called at the beginning, we can do randomize, which just makes it different every game. Now, right now, our game is looking pretty ugly, and the gameplay is all we have. So I'm gonna set a background and add a trail to play. So inside of project settings, in the general tab, display and when in rendering environment, you can add a default clear color. I'm gonna set it to a dark blue. Hopefully it changes in here, but also it changes in here, but also in the game. There we go. We didn't for a second, I'm scared. Now I'm gonna add a trail to the player. I'm gonna up here create a new one, other node, line 2D. I'm gonna rename it to trail 2D and set the width of the lines to 5. Can you see it? I'll add a new script. It's going to have an export bar length, trail length, and I'm going to set it to 13 maybe. Now in the function players process, I'm going to say var point equals global position or get parent dot global position. Then I'm going to say add point of that player. It's not going to work just yet, but we'll be getting closer. They use instead global position equals f2.0. Global position equals global rotation equals 0. Player, so we can select it. Visibility show behind China. Now we want to solely move them. We're going to say var I equals 0. And while I is less than 8, dot points dot size. And we will say let's say set point position. We want to set the point I. We want to get the point position I. And we want to move it at 5. And we want to go to the next point. Now we want to limit the length. So while our point count is greater than our square length, we'll remove the first one. And now you'll see that it looks a lot prettier. Now the final thing is I want to be able to click the mouse button because I can't. It's really hard to do this with a spacebar. So I'm going to click Project Network Settings at the top. Click Input Map, UI Accept, click Add, mouse button, and then Device 0 left button. And now here's the finished game. Pretty cool. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with others. Thanks for watching.